glare off. There we go.
Perfect. All right. So as we're going through the training this morning, please interrupt me with any questions. You can either ask me in the chat or unmute yourself. Either is fine. I want to make sure that you walk away from this feeling a lot more comfortable and excited, being able to use command and designs to start making your marketing material. I'll also pause as we go throughout to see if there are any questions that you have, just so there are never any missed questions. So I'm going to get started and I'm going to go to designs, which is going to be the icon on the far left, on third from the bottom. It looks like a little piece of paper with a paintbrush. I'm going to click on that and it's going to open up designs. Here, it's going to default into your My Design templates, and it's going to show you all the pieces of marketing material or designs that you have created previously. And you'll see here at the top, there are these 4 buttons, and you can sort by the different types of marketing material. So it's going to default here to email, and this is going to show me all the different emails that I've made. I can click on social, and this is going to show me all the pieces of social material that I've made, print, and video. And the reason I want to point this out is because when we go through our training this morning, and if you create a template or something that you really like, here, by just clicking into designs and going to My Design Templates, you'll be able to quickly pull up that piece of marketing material and you can make some quick adjustments and then you'll be good to go. When you want to create a new piece of marketing material from scratch, I'm going to click on the plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner. And this is going to give me a pop-up window to select what type of design I want to make. This really is more for organizational purposes on command side than where the actual piece of marketing material has to run. Because you could technically use a piece of print marketing material like on Facebook if you wanted to. But all the ones that are going to be optimized for internet, social, email will all be here within social. So I'm going to click on social and then click next. And this is going to open up the designs editor. So this is where it's going to drop you off every single time you open up the design editors into templates. And it's going to show you all these different types of content options on the left-hand side. So KW app, listings, all these coming soon for sale. And you can click through these to find ones that you find most interesting or something that you want to use. There's lots of different content type. And then, buyer, lead gen. And then one thing that's pretty new within the last couple of weeks is luxury. So every agent now has the access to the luxury content. So if you want to use any of this, by all means you can. If you have a luxury listing, please take advantage of the luxury templates. Now, before we actually jump into creating a piece of marketing material, I want to go through the brand assets first so we can set up your branded information with your headshots, fonts, colors, and then that way, as you're actually making your marketing material, it's very easy for you to have a consistent brand across everything. So I'm going to click on brand assets up here at the top. And then over here on the left-hand side, we have these different menu options, and we're just going to walk through each of them. So Rachel pointed out, thank you, Rachel, a luxury property has to be $850,000 plus. So what I want to do here for colors and fonts, if you have a handful of colors that you like to use across every single marketing material, and this might be something if you've worked with a third-party marketing company that they've set up for you and say, hey, this is your color palette, and you want to use these same exact colors on every single piece of material. So that way you have that consistent view on everything, and no one will be able to tell whether that piece of marketing material is made in command or you paid someone a lot of money to make it from an ad agency. So here you can go ahead and set up those color palettes for yourself. So it's really easy to have access to those colors. To do that, just click on New Color Palette in the top right-hand corner. And then here, I'm going to come over here. I'm going to rename this one. And I'm going to name this Training 5-3, so I know today's date. And then to start adding colors, I'm just going to click on the plus sign right here. And it's going to open up this little window where I could go through and I could find the right color that I want. Or You can add in the RGB letter or a number right here. And if you don't know that, which maybe you don't, there's these little up and down toggle arrows down here in the bottom right-hand corner that you can click through. And the hex number is going to be probably the most common. If you've worked with a third-party marketing company, they were probably able to give you this hex number. And then you can come here and then type in that hex number and then add that font or add that color. Let me change this real fast. B40101. There you go. So there's that one. And then I want to add a different color. Now I don't have the hex colors for anything else. So I'm just going to go through here. And I can just pick a bunch of colors that I want to add. Let's do yellow. And click enter. There we go. So now we're able to start creating our palette of colors. So you can have up to 6 in a single palette, but you can have numerous palettes, as you can see, as I have started collecting a handful of them through trainings. Then the other thing you may want to do is add fonts. If you have a specific font that you like to use for your brand, you can upload that into Command. There are 2 ways that you can add that font. The first is here. If you click on the web fonts, there's already going to be a ton of free fonts that you can add immediately into Command without having to upload. So you could just go through this list here. You could also search, see if they have it. And if you find one that you like, let's try Made in Orange. Just select it, turn the toggle switch on, and then click Add. And now that font has been added to my design. So whenever I'm creating a piece of marketing material, I can have that same font across everything, so it is consistent for all my branded assets. The other way to add a font is if you have the actual font file on your computer, you can upload that to Command by clicking on this up arrow right here and click Upload. And then you can just drag and drop that font file right here and it will add it to the system. Any questions about adding palettes or fonts?
No, but I do have a question, sorry, about the luxury. We could take this offline, but I didn't see, all I see under my luxury is listing information. That's all I see.
All right, yeah, we can chat about that after.
Okay.
Just you and I.
Okay.
Perfect. So after we've added our colors and fonts, we can go to logos, and you can add in your First Atlanta logos here, if you have an individual personal logo. And you'll notice I have a couple different options for my First Atlanta. I have the all white logo here. I have the red KW with the white font for First Atlanta, and then the full color and gray for font here. And then I have my personal one. The reason I have a couple different options for Keller Williams First Atlanta logos is because depending on what that marketing material is, one logo may look better than the other. If I have a very dark image, an all white logo may pop better versus if I have a very light image, this logo, the traditional logo, may work better. I also have my personal one, and you'll notice that they all have transparent backgrounds. If you do not have all the First Atlanta logos, we can quickly get those downloaded for you. I'm going to open up a new tab, and I'm going to go to rawlsgrouphelpdesk.com. And Scott Hardy has actually gone ahead and uploaded all of these logo assets to this website for you. So I'm going to come over here to downloads, and I'm going to select Market Center logos. And then I can click here on the First Atlanta logo in the top right-hand corner, or click here on the First Atlanta Sandy Springs Download 156 zip drive. And this is going to download all the different file options for you. He'll have the black and white ones, the full color ones with transparent backgrounds, one with white backgrounds, and he'll also have all the different file formats. So if you want to use it in Photoshop versus just a normal JPEG or a PNG file, they're all in there. So I recommend you download this zip file full of all these logo file, so you have those at your disposal. When you are uploading your logos into Command, I recommend uploading the .png file. PNG file is going to be the one with the transparent background. If you upload a JPEG, it will have a white background, which is not terrible, but for me personally, I prefer the transparent background. It makes, in my opinion, my pieces of marketing material look a little bit more professional, rather than just a white box around it. It kind of looks like I just grabbed that logo off of Google. So I would recommend the .png file, but you can always upload any that you want. Once you've gone through and uploaded your logos, and I recommend you do this beforehand before you actually start creating your marketing material, because this will make it super easy for you just to drag and drop and add these logos to your file. The next option is Smart Text. And Smart Text is going to be any piece of text or information that you are going to probably regularly add to a piece of marketing material. So this may be something like your phone number, email address, the mailing address for the office, your real estate team name, anything like that. Now you can see here's a bunch that have already been added. Some of these come directly from my marketing profile that I've set up when I first started in Command, but I can also go through and add a bunch of them if I want and create new ones. I can do that by clicking on New Field, and then it's going to ask me what type of information this would be. So let's say I wanted to go ahead and I want to add in a link to my Instagram profile, because I really want to push people to my Instagram profile. I can click on Instagram and I can type in Instagram profile, and I can type in Instagram.com/Nicholas Core, and then click save. And then here we go. Now I can just quickly add that URL to any of my postcards without having to every single time type in Instagram.com/. I can do that with pretty much almost anything. If I scroll down, it also lets me just allow some text. So if I wanted to add just any type of text, I could. If I had a couple sentences or a quick bio or whatever I want to put in, I could do that here. So you're not regulated to only the specific fields that they have set up. You can add your own as well. The next option we have is images. And here you can upload, I just have a couple images of my headshot, a couple different versions. So I have the square version and then a rectangle version. Again, I recommend adding these ahead of time, so that way if you want to put them on your marketing material, it's just so much easier. It's very simple. You can add as many as you want here if you have different ones, especially if you have a different headshot or images that you want to use for a luxury listing versus a non-luxury listing, or if you have different headshots for the type of property. So maybe if it's more of an in-town condo, you may want to use a different image versus if it is more suburban, single-family home residence. You can pick and choose. So upload as many as you like. The next is elements. And this is going to be if you have any secondary or tertiary brand iconography. So any secondary logos or anything that will also identify your brand, but isn't going to be a primary logo. You can upload those here as well. The next item we have is videos. So if you're going to use Command to make videos, which you can, they have a couple different video assets. You could upload a little video here. So maybe if you have a little intro or outro that you want to use on any of your videos, you can upload that here. So then you can quickly add that to the beginning or end of any of the videos that you make in Designs. And then the last item we have here is files. So this is just going to be if you want to upload any different files that you have, whether it's pieces of marketing material that you've created or any other random file that you didn't want to put in one of those specific folders previously. You can just upload that here so it's housed in Command. And that way, regardless of whatever computer you're on, every time you log into Command, you'll have access to those files. Any questions on the brand assets and uploading that and getting that set up before we start actually working on a piece of marketing material? All right, well, perfect. So I'm going to click back into templates, and this is going to take me back to where we got started. And I'll just start here with KW app. So like I mentioned earlier, on the left-hand side, we have a menu of all the different types of content that have templates made for us. We have my app. We have all these different app content images. And then up here at the top, you'll notice that we have, it says all and then social square. Actually, let me click into listings here because that'll be a better example. So I'm going to click into listings and then coming soon. I'll just scroll through here, a ton of different options using different fonts, different colors, different sizes. And then along here at the top, it says all, social stories, social square, and social wide. These are the different formats of this template. So if you knew that you wanted to create a piece of material, marketing material for Facebook, you probably want to click on social wide because that's going to be the optimal layout for Facebook. And then this is going to sort out and show me all of those social wide templates. And I can just come through here and I can pick one that I really like. Here we go. If I'm going to post this on Instagram, I can select social square. And here everything's already reformatted. So if I wanted to create an individual piece of marketing material for Facebook, Instagram, my Instagram stories, my Facebook stories, I don't have to reformat everything. I can just come in and quickly select the different size options at the top, make those changes, and then I'm good to go. So they really make this super easy for you where you don't have to worry about actually having to design anything. And again, you have so many different options of types of templates over here. So coming soon, for sale, just sold, local expert, open house, tons of options. And then in buyer, we have Keller Mortgage. So if you want to use Keller Mortgage as a lead gen tool, this is a great place where you can go ahead and get some of those images and start sharing that Keller Mortgage information. Neighborhood snaps, where you can share some information about the neighborhood. We're going to walk through this in just a minute because I love this. I think it's really great. Lead generation, some client love. So happy birthday, make a wish, all sorts of different options, client testimonials. So if you've received a great review, you can go ahead and make a piece of marketing material for that. And here, everything's all set up for you. Now, the nice thing is, like, let's say you're like, I really like this layout, but I don't like that image. Well, I'm going to show you in a few minutes how you have access to hundreds of free images that you can update that to. Event invitations. So if you wanted to host a certain event, you could here, all these different types of events, invitations, expert advice. I love KW. So if you ever just want to celebrate something, KW, here are some options as well. Business basics, we have email signature. So if you want to create an email signature, you can do that here. I know we have a couple different options between Scott Leroy Marketing, Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, and then I think there's some old templates that are on my KW. But here's 2 email templates you can use. And then social branding. So if you want to use a KW image for maybe your Facebook cover image, LinkedIn, Twitter covers, here are some templates that you can update as well. And everything's already formatted perfectly to fit on each one of these platforms. So you don't have to worry about resizing anything. Some leadership options for training, bold, professional services, luxury listing, luxury pewter. Here's some other luxury options. And then collections. So collections is really helpful. If you click on new designs, this is where the labs team is going to upload their most recent and designs that they've added. And these are going to be ones that are going to be usually more time specific and usually around a specific holiday. So you can see here, we have a couple Cinco de Mayo ads that they've created, or pieces of marketing material. We have some Mother's Day ones. I think this is for Greek Easter. So you can scroll down and there's just a bunch of different options that you can use, celebrating that we're America's best employers for diversity. So just come here and check out all these different options. So that way you can have something that's a little bit more culturally relevant on your profile that isn't necessarily 100% Facebook related, but it's, or excuse me, real estate related, but you're still able to celebrate whatever's going on and still have that KW message there. And it looks professional. And the last option we have down here is pivot, shift ahead. So these are some of the items that came out of the last year with COVID as we kind of shift our business. Here are just some fun options that you can use to make your business a little bit more entertaining and speak to people that everyone's kind of going through a tough time. Any questions about the different types of content templates that we have available to us? All right, so let's jump in and actually start making some of these marketing materials. So I have a listing that I want to promote. So I'm going to come over here to just listed. And here's all the just listed layouts, but I want to use Facebook because that's my preferred social networking platform. So I'm going to click social wide. And then here are my different templates. Let's see, which one do I really like? I like this one. So I'm going to roll my mouse over this one and then I'm going to click use. Once I click use, it's going to load the editor. So now I can start making this piece of marketing material my own. I'm going to start at the top and just kind of work my way down. It's usually the simplest way for me to do things. So I'm going to start up here in the top right-hand corner with the text. So I'm going to click on the text because I want to edit the text. When you click on the text, here's all these different options of things that we can edit. We can actually edit the font, the size. We can edit what the actual text is, how the opacity, the fill color, the stroke color, bold, italic, all the normal editing options. Now you do have the ability, you can double click into the text to start editing the text. But I'll tell you this, with using this program, I personally prefer to click on the typewriter button. And this is a little pop-up window here. And then I can quickly type in my updated address. So River Green Drive, Atlanta, GA 30327. Click Save Changes. Now I need to kind of reformat this so it fits, which is fine. So I'm going to click on this line and I'm going to use my keyboard to kind of move that over just a little bit to the left. And then I can move this over. So now it fits. Oh, let me edit this because that is incorrect. There we go. Save changes. So there's my address. And then right here is a placeholder image. I want to update this image. So what I'm going to do to update the image, I'm going to select the image. Then I'm going to come over here on the far left-hand side to the KWLS icon. And this is where I can actually pull in information directly from my listing in KWLS. And we don't actually have to add listings into KWLS. When we add them into Georgia MLS and FMLS, they get automatically synced to KWLS. And then this allows us to access that information here. So I'm going to type in the address for my listing, River Green Drive. And it's going to pull up a couple listings here. So we can see here is a listing with the 896. That's my Georgia MLS option. And then one here, this one is 687. That's my FMLS. Same information, same images for both. I'm going to select my FMLS listing. And it's going to pull up all of the images from that listing. So I can scroll through and I can find an image that I really want to use as this main placeholder. And I like this first one, the header image that I chose for my MLS listing. We have three different options here. The first one is an add image. So if I just wanted to add that image to the flyer, that would be adding it to what's already there. It wouldn't be replacing it. So that would say if I wanted to have more than one photo. The second option is replace. It kind of looks like a little recycling image to me. This would replace the current image that's selected. So that's what I'm going to recommend doing. So I'm just going to click replace. And now my image for my listing is automatically added into that placeholder image and is already formatted. So I don't have to resize it or anything. And then if I wanted to use this as a background, I could select the use as background button and that would send it all the way to the back. But I don't actually want to do that because I like this image the way it is. Any questions on searching in KWLS and adding that image to your listing? All right. So the next information we need to update is the information about the listing. Another benefit of using KWLS directly in designs is that to the right of where it says photos, we have listing details. And this is going to pull up all the details of my listing directly out of FMLS. So if this way, I don't have to open up two tabs. I don't have to click back and forth between FMLS and Command. I can see it all right here. So here I have my year built, my square footage, 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom. So I can come over here. I can click on my typewriter tool and I can update this. So we have 1 bed, 1 bath. We are 710 square feet and we are listed for 175. So if you know anyone looking for a 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom condo right outside of Vinings, this is the perfect fit. I can update here, built in 2015, and I'll click typewriter. This is built in 1991, it says. Click save changes. So the only thing that we need to update here is our KWDBA name logo. If you wanted to add any additional information from the listing, you can do that. You can just click add here and I'll add that text. So let's do. If I wanted to add the schools here, let's click add. Oh, that's weird. I thought I would, oh, sorry. I clicked on the wrong one. So I'm just going to delete this, select it and delete it. So if you wanted to add the schools, click add here. And then now here are all the schools. Oh, excuse me, let me control Z. I will say this system is a little clunky to use. There's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, but you can just play around with it and you can always undo. Here's an undo button up here. So if you ever make a mistake, you can always just click undo. So I can just quickly add the school names here so I didn't have to type all that in. And then I can change that font to whatever font I want. I can change that font size to 22. Fill color. So here you can see this is going to be the template color. So all the colors that are associated with this actual template, but I have my library colors and here are all my different palettes that I've created. Here's my training 5.3. So I can come right here and I can select this color that I know is the exact neon yellow color of my brand because I already have the hex color and I set that up in advance. So there we go. It's that easy to change the font color. And I can make this bold if I wanted to, or underlined, whatever you want to do. I'm going to delete this text box. All right, there we go. The last thing we need to do is update our logo. So to do that, I'm going to click on the logo here. And then it's going to automatically take me into the logos folder because this logo on the template is mapped as a logo. So it's going to pull up my different logo options. So here you can see all the different logos that I've already uploaded, but there isn't a place here for me to actually upload logos. So this is why it's important that you go ahead and you set those up in the branded assets folder before you actually get into making any designs. So I want to use the traditional KW First Atlanta logo. So I'm going to click on replace, and then it automatically replaces that logo. Now it's a little bit smaller than I would like, so I'm just going to make it bigger and reformat it to fit. There we go. Now the only thing that's missing on here is my own personal logo. So to add that, I'm going to roll my mouse over the logo. I'm going to just click on it and add it. Then I'm going to move that over here, and I'm going to drag it so it's smaller. There we go. Now I have created my flyer for my condo just listed in outside of Vinings, and I can post this on Facebook. So I'm going to come up here to the top of the screen, and I'm going to rename this design. So I'm going to name it 1105 River Green 53. From here, it's going to automatically save. The system saves everything every couple seconds. If I wanted to, I could share this image directly from command onto my social platform if I wanted to. It would pull up, it should pull up all of the, here we go, the different platforms. So I could share it on Facebook if I wanted to, or I could just copy this URL and it would pull in directly from that as well. My other option is going to be to download this, which this would be my personal recommendation for what I think would be the optimal consumer experience for someone seeing this. But I would just click download. It gives me the ability to download different types of images. I would just select JPEG and just download. Let's give it a second, and it's going to download. So now we have our image. So I could just go into my Facebook, whether it's my business page or my personal page, wherever I want to share this, or both, and I can just upload this image there. Any questions about creating this flyer? All right, it's pretty simple. I will say, like I said earlier, there is a little bit of a learning curve. This design program is a little clunky, so please be patient with it as you're working around in it. But it has some really great options, as you can see. So now that we're done with this social just listed flyer, I want to create one with some market stats that I can use this as I start to farm a neighborhood. So I'm going to click on home. And this is going to take me back to all of my templates. I'm going to come over here to lead generation. Oh, excuse me. Buyer. And then neighborhood snaps. And then here with these neighborhood snaps, I can quickly add information about that neighborhood, cost per square foot, what things are selling for, average days on market in a snap like that. So it's just a great conversation starter. So again, I can come over here, I can select what file size or template size I want to use. So we can standard postcard. So if I wanted to mail this postcard out to people within that neighborhood, here's a template I can already use.
Cool.
So I'm going to use this template right here. So I'll click use. All right. And now because it is a postcard, it's a print material. It has a front and a back. So I have both pages down here that I can select between. I'm going to minimize that just for time. So this is all just going to default to Barton Hills, which I think is a neighborhood in Austin somewhere. But I want to update it to this neighborhood that I'm farming. So I'm going to select my neighborhood snap image over here. And then I'm going to click over to KWLS. And then rather than searching for the listing, I'm going to click snapshots. And I'm going to type in the name of my neighborhood. So for me, let's type in Vinings, Georgia. Let's see if anything comes up. Here we go. Vinings, Smyrna right here. So we'll click on it. And it's going to load these market snaps. Here we go. Now it's going to give us a couple different option layouts. So here's going to be the vertical layout. Here's a map layout. And then here is a rectangular layout. So I want to use the vertical one. So I'm going to select the replace image. And that is going to replace that right there. So that way I don't actually have to drag and drop. I don't have to reformat everything. It fits perfectly. And then I can come up here to, will your next move be to Barton Hills? I can use the typewriter. And I can change this to Vinings. Click save image, save text. It's that simple. That's how quick it is to pull in this information. Now, I do want to clarify that these market snaps are meant to be conversation starters. It's just a quick pull of information directly out of the MLS. It's not to be exact or perfect, but what it is it's for you to be able to farm your neighborhood and people will be like, oh, wow, Nick really knows what's going on in this neighborhood. There's only one active listing. 11 things are pending. The average square foot is 187. I wonder what that means for me. Maybe I should reach out to Nick to get more info on what it might be like for me to sell. Again, conversation starters. Once you have that start having the one-on-one conversations, that's when you'd want to pull specific comps and look at exact information for that potential client. So let's say the neighborhood that you're farming is more of a townhome neighborhood. Maybe families aren't very popular there. There aren't a ton of families, or you just don't really like this image. Either or, it doesn't matter. Making sure that we're all fair housing compliant. We can edit this image. We don't have to use this image, even though it's templated. It's really just a placeholder. So if you ever want to edit this image or any image that is included on one of these templates, all you have to do is click on the image. That's the background. And I'm going to come over here on the left-hand side to the images button. And then where it's going to default into my assets, I can click on company. And here are tons of different images that I have full copyright permissions to use. So I can just go through each of them. Miscellaneous, don't want any of those. House interiors. So depending on what type of neighborhood, you may not want to show the exterior because maybe you just want the interior. Maybe the neighborhood has a ton of beautiful owner suites that you can use. Some more interior. Here's a brick, a little bit more loft style. Why is it not replacing? There we go. And you could reformat this if you wanted to. So here's a bunch of interiors. Let me go back. Here are house exteriors or neighborhoods. Let's see what the neighborhoods look like. So if farming were big, or not farming, gardening were big, if you had some townhomes, just all these different options. And then let me show this last one of house exteriors. So if you had a single family home, you could use that image. Some of these don't really work that well. You just have to reformat them. Here's some row homes. So you get the idea of how easy it is to update these images, and you have full access to all these images, and it's that simple. Now, if I wanted to, I could go through and I could work on the back of this image, since it is technically a print flyer, but not going to do that today for time. And on Thursday, we're going to walk through creating print images and actually how to send out this flyer. So once you're done with this image, you can give it a name. So this would be Vinings Snap. And then I can download. I would select JPEG. I can also include, if I wanted thumbnails, I don't want that, publish, any other distinctions there. And I can just click start download. And now it's going to download that JPEG to my computer. And I could share this on Facebook, any other social media platform, put it in an email. I'm good to go. I really like the neighborhood snap because it just is that unique conversation starter that no other brokerage is going to be able to offer. So simply with an image of the map with all these stats and really positioning yourself as that market expert. Any questions about anything that I've walked through this morning? I know we've gone through designs pretty quickly, but just want to see if there's anything that I can clarify for you, walk you through again, anything that you didn't see this morning that you were hoping to see in this training. All right. Well, if there aren't any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me once you start playing around in designs. I'm always happy to set up some one-on-one time, or if you just have a quick question, give me a call. Let me know how I can help you and how you can use designs as a part of your business.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your
Thank
morning.
you.
All right. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye.